Hey there, I'm Emily Johnson, a 65-year-old living in the charming town of Helena, Montana. Surrounded by breathtaking mountains and lush forests, it's the perfect place to call home. After my dear husband passed away, he left me our beautiful family house and enough savings to live comfortably. Though I'm officially retired, I still work as a consultant to keep my mind sharp and my days filled. My eldest son, Michael, and his wife, Melissa, have been living with me in our family home for the past few years. This house has been in our family for generations, and despite its age and the occasional creaky floorboard, I've always loved it. The house is filled with warm memories of holidays, family gatherings, and countless laughter-filled moments. However, living with Melissa turned out to be more challenging than I ever imagined. Melissa is a strong-willed woman who isn't afraid to speak her mind. From the moment she first visited us, wearing a tracksuit she claimed was her real self, I knew she was different. I remember that day vividly. She walked in with confidence, her hair tied back in a messy bun, and a smile that could light up a room. I tried to overlook her quirks, thinking that maybe she was just nervous about meeting the family. But as time went on, I noticed a pattern that became harder to ignore. Despite being a stay-at-home wife, Melissa never helped with chores. She left all the cleaning, laundry, and cooking to me, even though I worked from home and had less free time than she did. Whenever I asked for help, she'd make excuses, saying it was better for my health if I stayed active. She had this strange theory that doing housework would keep me young and prevent dementia. It was frustrating, to say the least, but I tried to brush it off and focus on the positive aspects of our living arrangement. However, the tension between us grew with each passing day. Melissa had a way of making me feel like I was in the way, even in my own home. She'd often make snide remarks about my work, saying I was just killing time and not contributing anything meaningful. It stung, especially since I had always been proud of my career and the independence it brought me. Things came to a head when I decided to move into a new apartment. I thought living separately would ease the tension and give us both some much-needed space. The apartment was spacious and cozy, with large windows that let in plenty of natural light. I spent hours decorating it just the way I liked, with soft pastel colors and plenty of plants to bring the outdoors in. But my hopes for a peaceful new chapter were quickly dashed. Melissa started visiting daily, often staying until late at night. She'd make herself comfortable on the couch, watching TV and helping herself to snacks from the kitchen. It felt like I couldn't escape her presence, no matter how hard I tried. One day, I came home from running errands to find Melissa in my apartment, using a spare key I had given Michael for emergencies. She was lounging on the floor in front of the TV, not even bothering to get up when I walked in. I confronted her, asking why she was there without my permission. She brushed me off, saying I was too strict and that she was just trying to be friendly. That's when I decided enough was enough. I contacted a real estate agent and transferred the apartment lease to Melissa, making her responsible for the rent. I knew it would be a shock to her system, but I hoped it would also be a wake-up call. Michael, furious with Melissa's behavior, began considering divorce. It turned out Melissa had been under the impression that Michael was paying the rent, but in reality I had been supporting them both financially. When Melissa found out the truth, she was shocked. She called me, demanding explanations, but I calmly told her she was now the primary tenant and had to pay the rent. With no job and no support from her family, Melissa was in a tough spot. I felt a mix of pity and relief. I had tried to be understanding and accommodating, but her actions had consequences. Michael filed for divorce, and Melissa was left to fend for herself. I heard through the grapevine that she had moved into a small apartment provided by an organization that supports homeless individuals. It was a far cry from the comfortable life she had been leading, and I couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt. But I also knew that I had done everything I could to help her, and it was time for her to take responsibility for her own life. Now I live in a beautiful duplex I bought with my late husband's inheritance. The house is surrounded by a lush garden, filled with the sounds of birds chirping and the rustling of leaves. Michael stays with me sometimes, but we both enjoy our independence. I'm finally creating the English garden I've always dreamed of, with neatly trimmed hedges, vibrant flowers, and a cozy seating area where I can enjoy a cup of tea in the morning sun. This experience taught me the importance of setting boundaries and standing up for myself, even with family. I'm grateful for this new chapter in my life, filled with hope, joy, and the freedom to pursue my passions. I spend my days tending to my garden, reading, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. And though the road here was bumpy, I wouldn't trade the lessons I've learned for anything.